that animals of the same species can seem to connect with each other across distance, right? There are studies that have started emerging right now showing that animals sometimes that move in herds can be deeply connected to each other. One study which was really interesting was the study of monkeys in a particular island in Japan. So in a particular island, one monkey learned to use a tool in a unique way, say a piece of rock to open a shellfish. Very soon, all of the other monkeys imitate and learn that. And that's cool. But then, when about 100 monkeys on that island have learned that particular method, the same species of monkey on a neighboring island, far away, like way beyond what an average monkey can swim, starts deploying the same tool.
No way.
And so scientists were wondering, is there a form of knowledge or consciousness transfer across similar species? Now again, there's a whole new field of quantum biology that's emerging. It might help us understand it. We don't understand it, but we seem to see this. And we see this not just in science, but in spirituality. One of my favorite quotes on love by the Rumi is this: I can close my eyes and talk to you in 1,000 silent ways. And the evidence comes from the HeartMath Institute of Los Gatos. So there they measure something called heart resonance, which is a biomarker of health, and they found that your heart resonance shows a healthier pattern almost instantaneously when you see the face of someone you love. We did this little experiment in our office, and all of you watching can do this experiment. We took 3 little petri dishes, and you can use a simple plate, and we put seeds on this, like some cotton bud with water and seeds. Okay, so A, B, and C. So in one, it was basically the control group. We didn't do anything different, we just left it by a window. The second one was the negative test, where my team would look at the seed.
I hate you,
Yeah, I hate you, you're a stupid
ugly
little plant, you're an ugly seed. I bet when you sprout, your leaves will be upside down, you'll be tiny, the other plants won't like you, you're a puny little pathetic plant, and I hate you, okay? Now the third one, or as nasty as you can get when you're talking to a plant, now the third one, you just praise it with compliments. You are going to have the most beautiful green leaves. You are going to be so beautiful. You're going to light up a room. I'm so proud of you. You're going to grow so tall and healthy. Okay, now look at the picture. This is the picture. And you can see the control group is mid-size. The one that we insulted, the negative plant, the leaves are literally upside down.
No way.
And it's tiny and short. Now look at the tall one. That's the one that we express gratitude and appreciation to. Because when you see how your words can affect a plant, which is a different species, you understand that your words can affect your body. Your words can affect other people. And by the way, all of these plants have the same amount of sunlight, the same amount of water. The only thing different was the emotion that was being passed to the plant. So when I said there is evidence that we can send love across time and distance, when I quoted Rumi, I can close my eyes and talk to you in 1,000 silent ways. This is one of the most interesting experiments you can do on your own. But this experiment shows 2 things. It shows phase 1, compassion, works. If we can influence the biology of plant life, imagine what this can do for human life.
Yes.
And phase 2, gratitude, same thing is happening over here. We're expressing gratitude for that plant as it's blooming. But it also shows you how negative energy can really mess things up. The next time you think a negative thought about someone, what if, and I don't know if there's any studies on this, but what if, just like you were hurting the plant, you were physically hurting another person?
Wow.
That plant is distant from you. It's practically a different species. What about the cells in your body? Your body is not purely human. Your body is roughly 96% human, 4% microbiome. So your gut, your throat is filled with microbiome. There are more bacteria cells in your body than human cells. And this microbiome, they work with your body, they create emotions, they keep you well. When your gut is off, not only is your digestion off, but your brain chemistry is off. Serotonin, today we know 90% of serotonin, which is the happiness chemical, is produced in the gut and goes through the vagus nerve to the brain.
Wow.
If we can influence plants, we can influence bacteria. And this bacteria is literally part of us. So what are we doing to our bodies when we think a negative thought, when we blame ourselves? Literally therapy. Dr. O. Carl Simonton of the Simonton Cancer Research Institute decided to test this out on cancer patients. And what he discovered was astonishing. He tested this out on 159 cancer patients who were given 12 months to live. So this is terminal form cancer, right? The average survival rate went from 12 months to 24.4 months. Now, of these patients, 17 went through, 14 completely healed their cancer. 17 went through a situation where their cancer started subsiding. So this is 14 plus 17, what is that? That's 30 something. So around 30 out of 159 basically were on a path to recovery. Yet all of these people were given 12 months to live. The average lifespan increased to 24.4 months. So we're not saying, Carl Samantan is certainly not saying that this is a cancer cure, but what he's saying is that imagery therapy, when applied to even terminal illnesses, seem to increase the probability of recovery. And of course, you're doing this with your doctor's advice. Now, when you forgive yourself, you typically forgive past judgment. And past judgment on yourself can sometimes cause illness and disease. Love as an energy is a incredibly powerful energy because the feeling of love creates all of these other delicious emotions. Narcissism is self-love without love for others. There's a natural thing in our mind called the fundamental attribution error. So when we make a mistake, we attribute it to circumstance, but when somebody else makes a mistake, we attribute it to character. All of us go through moments of weakness, go through moments of pain. And your default thinking might more likely be, I wonder if she's okay. The way parents have been trained to raise kids, the way our education system has been trained us, is to tell us that there are certain things we do which are wrong and we have to be right. We see this in religion. There are religions that said, you can't do that, that is wrong, God is going to judge you, you are wrong. A lot of this is nonsense. Look at what's happening in Iran right now, right? Women are being told that they are sinners for showing a little bit of hair. They're being arrested by morality police, right? And that's why the women of Iran are taking off their hijabs and protesting right now. But it's not just in Iran. Think about like the religions in the countries you are at. Think about what you've heard in through many religious teachers. Religion is a beautiful part, and in phase 6, we actually honor religion through prayer. But there's also that dark side of religion, dogma, which tells us that there are right ways and there are wrong ways, and because you make that mistake, you are a sinner and you are going to hell, and all of these other things. Then you look at the education system. We grade kids based on the stupidest things, right? You get an F for history, and it makes you feel like a failure. But what the is that knowledge of history gonna mean to your life in the future? Right. Or geography, right? Nobody wakes up as an adult depressed because they can't remember, the date of the Mongol siege of Baghdad or the amount of rainfall in Montana. Right. We go through horrible situations in life because of heartache, because of anxiety, because of, dealing with stress. We don't learn any of that. So we are graded on, given grades as children, told, this person is an A, you got an F, you got to study harder, for the stupidest things which have no bearing in future success. And then there's parenting. The most important thing a parent can do for their child is to protect the child's beliefs. Make sure your child understands that they can heal their body, that their beliefs heal their body. Ensure your child understands that gratitude and appreciation will actually cause more good things to come to their life. Make their child understand that getting an F is meaningless. Make your child understand that compassion is an important quality. All of that, right? Protect the child's belief. Never install in your child a bad belief. So let me give you an example. I was driving with my son once. It was a Sunday. It was Father's Sunday. And as we were driving, my CFO calls me. It's something urgent. He needed to talk to me. So I had to pick up the phone and talk to my CFO for 20 minutes in the middle of a Sunday drive with my kid. When I put down the phone, I realized that if I didn't explain to Hayden what happened, he might form a belief, Dad's work is more important to me. And that belief could emerge as adulthood. Work should come before family. All of these are dangerous beliefs. So I turned to Hayden and I said, Hayden, I want you to know, you're the most important thing in my life. You, as my son, I love you so much. You're more important to me than my work. My entire company can disappear and I'd be okay. But you, I always love you and always want you around. I'm sorry I had to take that call for 20 minutes. Something important happened and my company needed me. However, we're going to extend this trip by another 20 minutes so we can continue spending time together because you fill me with so much joy. Do you see what happened there? It's because in any circumstance, I ask myself, what will this tell my children about the world. Kids have a meaning-making machine. Let your children know you love them. Like, it's so important. Like, they must feel love from you. If they feel love from you, they're more likely to give love to themselves.
Yes.
But so often as parents, we don't do that. It's so hard, especially for men. So many men are not trained to say, I love you. I practice. Like, I know my dad loves, so, we all have different love languages, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't hear that often, all of us, we're imperfect beings trying to make the best we can of a crazy world as we learn and as we grow. And all of us will go through moments of doubt. Self-doubt isn't a bad thing. Self-doubt keeps us humble. Self-doubt keeps us vulnerable. But very often that self-doubt is, does he or she really love me? And that he or she could be your mom, your dad, your partner. And so it's important to understand that this self-doubt is a normal thing. But if we can share that with people, share our love with people, this can be a real gift to them.
Yeah.